Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Jared Moon. The Garage Gym Athlete Podcast is a result of my desire to build better humans, unequivocal coaches, and autonomous athletes. I've spent the last several years obsessing over program design, nutrition, and every other way you can optimize human performance. This podcast distills the latest scientific research with what I've learned and blends it with the not-so-scientific field of mental toughness. We are here to build you into a dangerously effective athlete. If you enjoy this podcast, you can find out more about our training at garagegymathlete.com. And if you want to pursue more into the field of coaching and programming, head to endof3fitness.com. Thanks for listening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. I'm Jared Moon with Joe Courtney. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Jared.
And Jason James. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. Glad to have you here today. Get into it a little bit more. So I'll let you start. Who you are, what you do, how you train, where you're from.
Okay. You're just going to throw me right into it.
Right into it.
All right, good. I'm a 40-year-old pharmacist, father of 4. I have 2 boys, 2 girls. A boy 13, girl 12, girl almost 10, and then a 2.5-year-old boy.
Nice.
Been married above my station for about 18 years now.
Nice.
And I live in northeastern Kentucky.
So what's up with this run? Okay, so we talked about it a little bit beforehand, but we recently interviewed Sarah Trunky on the podcast. And
okay.
She had a very similar shirt to
Same
you're wearing,
shirt.
but you guys are very far away from each other geographically. So is this like a nationwide thing?
No, it's more.
It's all across Middle Earth.
Yeah, it's all across Middle Earth. Mostly hobbitses and things like that. But no, it's as far as I know, it's not a real event. I think it's just made up, and the shirts you can buy them on the internet. I'd love it if it was a real event.
I thought it was. See,
that's
how much
Somebody
I know
should.
about all this stuff.
I may have to do one. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. Well, let's get into it a little bit more. So what's your setup, garage gym setup?
My setup is in the basement. It's a walkout basement, but I have a garage portion walled off in the basement. We built the house, and I had basically a garage installed underneath there. It used to be my workshop. We started a basement remodel. We've been doing that for some time because it's just me and my brother working on it. And I moved my gym from the middle of the basement into the workshop. So I had to gut the workshop, move my gym in. That's where I'm at. It's almost finished. I've got a few more pieces to go, a little trim work, but it'll be ready soon. You can see awesome. I'm not in the gym right now. I'm sitting in my car.
Yeah. Yeah, we had some schedule changes on you so that's my fault. But as long as you know what you have, what equipment do you have?
Okay.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. I have a list. Let's see. I've got a 5'11" vest with 20 and 30 pound capabilities on it. I got a T3 rack from Titan with an extension on it, so I guess that might make it a T6. I built a deadlift platform. I've got a bunch of barbells. I've got a deadlift bar, like a Rogue Ohio deadlift bar. The knurling on it is very aggressive. I like it. I've got a safety squat bar that I thought was a good idea. I'm not really sure about it now, so that might go on marketplace soon because it's weird. It's not a front squat. It's not a back squat. It's just awkward. I've got a big trap bar. I deal with some lower back injuries, and so a lot of times I have to switch over, start using a trap bar. So I got a 7-foot trap bar. I've got about 370 pounds of bumpers, about 800 pounds of steel. You don't want to break rule number 1, run out of weight. Can't do it. kettlebells from 10 to 100 pounds, multiples like in the 50, 60 ranges for the carries, like the long carries, so that way I can balance out. Or some rando dumbbells thrown in that I've picked up at yard sales. Got a bench, 30-pound medicine ball, 12-pound slam ball, plyo box, 20, 24, 30. I got a punching bag that hangs up there that I don't use.
Looks cool though.
It looks really cool. It looks like I know what I'm doing, but it's just kind of there for me to lean on. I've got cross ropes. I got those a few months ago. My wife got those for me. Those are awesome. There's nothing like getting slapped in the ass with a 2-pound rope.
You can break your toes.
Yeah. You break. What I do is I usually hit my right toe, and then I get caught right up the back of the leg with the other side. I've got a GHD. I've got a Rogue Echo. I've got a Schwinn Airdyne that's probably from the 90s. That's the first one I picked up, and I kept it because my kids use it also. I use the good one. I put them on the one that makes a lot of noise.
Turns up the air.
Yeah, it really does. It's good. All the dirt in there because I don't clean anything. A Concept 2 rower, a couple sets of rings. I got a couple pull-up bars, a fan. I installed a heater in the remodel, so there's a heater in there. Chalk bucket, stall mats. I got a sauna the other day, or a couple weeks ago.
How big is this basement?
Our basement's big. The space I have, it's about probably 11 feet wide, but I could probably park 2 full-size extended cab pickups in the space.
Okay.
So it's not too wide, but it's long.
Mm-hmm.
Sandbags. I got dip bars that go on the rack, and I've got a leg press that goes on the rack that just kind of hangs there now that doesn't really do anything. I've got it on the wall. I'll pull it out, I don't know, once every few months and be like, hey, let's work on my right leg.
It's a right leg day.
Right
Not
leg
both.
day. It's right
Not
leg
both.
day. No. So, and I think that just about covers it. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but it's okay.
So do you do double unders in your basement? It's tall enough?
Yeah, I have 10-foot ceilings.
Oh, nice.
And
That's
I don't
awesome.
do double unders very well anyway, so whenever I fail, I'm like, oh, I must have hit something.
Under the ceiling. Yeah.
The ceiling's got me every time.
Every time.
That's a setup, man. That's awesome. That's one thing I wish Texas did was basements. The ground's just too hard. But I do think that you can have some pretty sweet setups. Sounds like yours is pretty amazing.
Yeah, in Kentucky, we don't have any choice. We live on hillsides.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's very easy to put a basement in here.
So what was the big reason behind starting a garage gym?
Time, I guess, like most people. Busy family life. My kids were competitive gymnastics, like Olympic style gymnastics. And we were on the road, traveling a lot, practiced a lot. Like my son was practicing 16 hours a week. And we didn't have a lot of time, so I had to start sneaking workouts in when I could. I saw a trainer. I didn't start training again until I was about 34. I was athletic in high school, ran track, basketball. I could jump out the gym. I was fast. That's when I was skinny and I was fast. And then somewhere for about 16 years, I decided I'm going to get fat and sassy. And, through school and family started. And then I was 34. I was looking, I was like, man, I am just like a little doughboy. I don't like this. So I started seeing a trainer locally, bodybuilder. That's what he was. He's in his 60s, looks great. I mean, the man has held up well. And I trained with him for a couple years, 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, somewhere in there. And really liked that atmosphere. But then I wanted to do something else. I wanted more compound movements. I wanted more power movements. I wanted to squat more. I wanted to deadlift more. Because we're doing basically bodybuilding, press downs, curls, things like that, rows. So I started the basement so I could start doing those type of movements and learning those movements. And it just progressed. I kept adding more and more gear and phasing that out because I liked what was happening down there. And it took a while to find your programming. I was doing a hodgepodge. It's like, hey, let's squat, dead, bench, and press. Let's do that 3 days a week. Or let's do a WOD from this WOD generator. Yeah, that looks fun. I wasn't really losing ground because I kind of had an idea what I was doing, but I wasn't gaining anything. I was kind of just spinning my wheels. So I was like, all right, I need to get some programming. I had built a wooden rack. And because I was looking, I love your DIY corner. I've been looking and creeping on your DIY corner for a long time. And I was like, hey, all right, let me look at this rack. Let me look at this. Hey, can we build this? And through that, I found the programming. I was getting ready to pull the trigger on one man, one barbell. And you were running the, hey, sign up for GGA for $1 and try it for 2 weeks and see. I was like, all right, I'll try this. And I've been here for 2 years now?
Yeah.
Something. I don't know. So yeah, it's okay.
Gotcha.
It's all right.
I might like it.
Yeah, I might like it. You got me with the free promo or the $1.
The $1. Might as well be free. Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. I think that's huge on consistency from WOD generators where you're probably clicking the button a couple times till you find something you like.
No, that one looks terrible. That one's got too many burpees.
To Garage Gym Athlete for as long as you've been here. I think it's awesome.
I'm like, King Kong, what is that? I can't do that. I got to go 435?
Yeah.
Gosh. But then life started getting busier. We're always on the road. I started looking at my kids and being gymnasts, they were in great shape. My son, he's 13 now. I mean, he jacked. And I was like, I got to do something more because these kids are going to be able to kick my ass one day. And making me look bad. And I want to be that dad that can hang with the kids and can do things and be the dad that nobody wants to guard if we get matched up in some sort of father-son, whatever. The dad's son, I don't want to guard him. And so that's a good motivator right there.
Yeah, that's I get that. Because my son just started playing football. He's been playing in like this, I don't know what you'd call it, some sort of recreational league. It just wasn't a big deal. It was flag football, but they start him young here, and now he's in the real league. I don't know how to really differentiate the difference here, but they're way more serious. We have to go to practice twice a week. He's only in second grade, and we're doing a lot of crazy stuff. And I show up. And all the dads, you're talking about looking like don't want to guard them. They're all like taller than me, more muscular than me. They're like all NFL players. And I'm like, am I in the right spot? Like, this is just crazy. So I lost my aspiration of not wanting, like, they would happily guard me. Some of the guys I'm up against right now. So I'm lost on that one, but I love the goal.
Yeah, but you might surprise them some too.
Yeah, I'm squirrely. I'm pretty fast. So what are some of your goals right now?
Goals right now. I would like to have a butt that you could throw a quarter at and get two dimes and a nickel back.
There you go.
But genetics aren't in my favor. We come from skinny-legged my father and my brother, and so I just do what I can. Mostly, like I said, was keep up with the kids. I want to be ready to do anything at any time. I've never done a Spartan. I was going to do my first Spartan this year, but they canceled it.
Yeah.
And so what they did, they canceled it and then said, okay, we'll throw a free one at you. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I'll get to do 2. And I'm like, I might as well do a trifecta at that point. So I think next fall, I'm going to try to do a trifecta. I would like to do it in one weekend, I don't know if I can do that or not.
Sure you can.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to try it. And the worst I can do is just like, you know what? I'm not doing this today. So I'll probably start with the biggest one and then the middle and then the sprint and save the sprint for last. So it'll be like, oh, this is so easy. It's not bad at all. So I'm kind of training for that. I'm doing Murph 52. I think I just finished week 19. I think I'm on week 20 of that. Really sucks.
That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. There's no way around it. It's just I still like doing the Meet Yourself Saturdays, and I want to do the Murph, so I'd Murph on Sunday mornings. I get up, I do it about 8 o'clock, and sometimes I go after it. Sometimes you feel it, and you're like, "Hey, okay, I'm going to go." Most of the time, I'm like, "No, I'm not." And the mile runs in Kentucky, there's no flat ground, so my mile is like uphill both ways. I have a quarter-mile stretch marked off at my house. I don't understand how it can be an incline both ways from my house to that fire hydrant. But
I think all garage gym athletes have that problem. Somehow it goes uphill both ways.
Yeah, it does. Now I'll do my last mile sometimes past there where I kind of get a little bit of a downhill, not much, but it flattens out. But I have to go basically all the way through my subdivision. We got that going on. Let's see. What else are we doing? Doing hard to kill. I think I'm trying to do a whole year. I've done 6 or 7 cycles, and this is my 3rd straight cycle of hard to kill.
Nice.
So I'm working hard to kill, working Murph in. I don't know who pissed you off this cycle though, because H2K is hard. I was looking at.
People are blaming it on the move. I
don't know. We got something called Brain Biscuit coming up tomorrow. That just looks miserable.
Oh, we already heard about that today, just like an hour or two ago.
Somebody already dropping about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe we can get you back in a better mood. But, it gets you ready for anything. And, like the goal, get ready for anything. I went mountain climbing for the first time. When was that? About 3-4 weeks ago. Never been. Okay, I got to climb up this cliff. Okay, all right. And wasn't a problem. My body held up. I had the strength to do it. Didn't have the technique, but I was able to muscle through quite a bit. And that was a lot of fun. I was surprised when I got up the top and looked down and said, okay, yeah, I guess my training is working. I didn't specifically train for mountain climbing or rock climbing, but cool.
That is cool. That's not like a small thing to just go do either.
Yeah.
It's like go mountain climbing. Yeah, sure, I'll try it out. Let's go.
Sure. All right,
it also
cool.
Looks cooler when you're like, yeah, I climbed that, and you can point it. Instead of like running, you're like, yeah, I ran that road over there.
Yeah, I ran that. Yes.
Because everyone can run. Not everyone can climb a mountain.
Yeah.
Yep.
There it is. Write that down.
Not everybody. Not everybody can run either. And
that's true.
I was, I used to run track, and I used to be fast. I was a 400 sprinter. And so my 400 times now that I'm 40, I've got to learn, okay, I can't run like I did when I was 18. I can't run a 51 anymore. Yeah. Let's see if I can keep this under a minute and a half. And you kind of have to eat some humble pie sometimes on that. And as you get older, you learn how to do that better. Like I'm not chasing PRs anymore. I'm just looking for consistency, keep grinding every day. And hopefully it'll lead to lifelong health and wellness. About 4 years ago, I had cardiac arrest. I was 36. And I want to make sure that I'm around for my kids. It was a fluke. It was a fluke incident, really. I went to run a 5K. I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to get in better shape. Let me do a little bit of cardio, did a little bit. I was like, I'm going to run a 5K. Be great. I think I ran about 31 minutes. It was a walk run. I was not pushing myself at all. It was about 15 minutes after it was over. I was sitting in the car with my son. Like, dude, I don't feel good. Just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, don't feel good. I thought I had food poisoning. And I was like, I'm going to go over here to the corner of this bar and vomit. And he goes, okay. He started playing his video game. I stood up, and that's the last thing I remember. I went down. Apparently, I made it to the end of the bar because I hit my face on the building. But I went down. I was in VFib. Thankfully, somebody saw me. I was at a 5K with a bunch of other medical professionals, and I got CPR immediately. And then, I had to be defibbed right there on the street. So they did that. Took me to the hospital. Went into the cath lab. I had a blockage of some sort. They didn't specify, so they put a stent in. Okay. And then I was in recovery, and I still don't remember anything. Everything's hazy. I remember my brother waving his phone at my face. I guess I'll say my face was hurting. He's like, well, you big dummy, you smacked a building with your face. And I was actually forming another clot at that time. So I went into cardiac arrest again with VTAC that time, and they shocked me again, compressions again. Went back to the cath lab, and he actually just removed the clot this time. So my memory picks back up from, hey, I'm going to go throw up, to here's your blood clot.
Wow.
That's big. And he goes, yeah, that's a big blood clot. We've been in here twice. And I was like, well, I'm getting my money's worth today, aren't I? And it was, we don't know what happened. We don't know. They've ran everything they can. My blood work was gorgeous. I don't have a clotting issue. It's just more of a freak thing. I was in the best possible place I could be. God put me where I needed to be with people that could help me, because I could have been doing anything that day. It could have been over the hill. We got a lot of woods around here. I planned on clearing some brush. I'm like, if I cleared brush, I was like, I'd be down there dead. It'd be 3 days before anybody checked on me. When you go outside to work, nobody in your family ever comes looks at you. Comes to see, hey, are you doing okay? You need something to drink?
No, they could have to help.
yeah. It's 95. I don't need anything to drink. Nobody checked on me at all. But, it could have been anything. And it turned out to be basically, I shouldn't be here. And so I don't want to waste it. I don't know why I'm here. It might just be to be here to be a good dad to my kids or whatnot. Maybe they're going to do something to change the world. I hope so.
That's incredible, man. That's just, I don't know. Maybe the 5K could have set it off, but I just think that, like you said, you were in the right spot at the right time. Unfortunate event, but you haven't had any issues since. But is that kind of what sets you on this new path?
It kind of does. I want to be, it's kind of like I want to prove to myself that was a fluke, that I can do things, that I don't have to live my life afraid that I'm just going to kill over. A lot of these workouts that I've been doing that you programmed are so much harder than a 5K. Give me a 5K any day. And I've ran a bunch of 5Ks afterward, and I'm doing Murph every week. That's worse. Yeah. And it's just, I lived for about a year with a lot of anxiety. Like, okay, what's going to happen? Get in a closed space. Okay, I'm freaking out because am I going to have cardiac arrest here again? What's going to happen? Oh, I'm on a boat, like a ferry boat going over. We go on vacation. And I'm like, what if something happens here? I was like, I'm a dead man. Nobody's going to get me out of here. Took a long time to get over that. And me and my wife, I don't even want to know what she went through that day. But one day we just sat down. We're like, you know what? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. No reason to live our life in fear about it. So that's what we're kind of doing. We're just kind of going on, this is life. Life happens. If something happens to me, you guys are going to be fine. So
that's a phenomenal story. And I'm going to ask now, since, you have done a lot of hard stuff since that initial 5K, but what is the hardest thing you've done? What's the hardest workout you've done?
Well, the one that killed me would be the obvious answer, but no. And you're catching me 2 days post Bambi. and so what I did, because I took an extra day off last week, I took 2 days off in a row. I went ahead and did Bambi, and then that last mile with Bambi, I rolled that into my first mile of Murph.
Oh, you were the crazy fool.
which seemed like a great idea until I was on about right in the middle. I was about on set 10, about squat 150. I said, "What am I doing? This is terrible." But I still got through it. And yeah, I'm sorry. I felt like somebody stabbed me in the legs, but I'm cool. It's all right. It still is not as bad to me as trying to PR a 2K row.
That's the worst. It's the worst thing.
I think I feel like, I'm glycolytic for the last 3 minutes and I just want to die. I just want to fall over and curl up and my body won't move and I can't go any faster. I can't figure it out. I know there's guys that can row like sub sevens. It's amazing. I don't know how. I just can't do it that long. It's like I'm like, throw my hands up. I'm done. Yeah. I try to throw my hands up, but I can't move.
Yeah.
So
just fetal.
I don't know who picked that distance for the row, but they picked it well. Because if they would have been like 3,000, it would be bad, but it just wouldn't be as bad because you would just attack at a different intensity. But 2,000 is right at that threshold of just being awful because of the intensity you have to maintain.
Even 1,500 is not bad.
Right.
Yeah, it's that extra 500 where you're like, okay, now I need to really get it so I can get a good time. And like, nope, nothing in the tank. We're done.
Yeah, that's what I think is interesting. The Air Force, they came out with a rather new like special operations test, and it's way more functional. The Army's done it too, but they put a row in there, and they put the row at 1,000 meters. And I was like, what? Where's this 1,000 meter, coming from? You should have done 2K and just watched a bunch of 18-year-olds eat it.
Yeah.
All right, man. In your opinion, what's the best activity for building mental toughness?
Best opinion for mental toughness. I would say just grind every day. Sometimes you don't feel good, and it's okay sometimes to lower the weight. It's okay if you're injured, lower the weight. Go through the movements. Do what you can. Just do something. Just keep moving. When you quit moving, you get left behind and things start falling apart. But if you can just find a way, if it's just a walk, like this is all I have in me today, I'm going to go on a walk. Something's better than nothing, and just keep doing it.
Now, if you could only have one piece of equipment to train with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I really now, is a wearable considered like an everyday item now? So that doesn't count because I really like being able to track everything on my watch, especially like heart rates and rhythms. That's kind of important. It would probably be a wearable, but if I had to actually pick a piece of equipment, I would probably say a pull-up bar.
A good one.
Because, I can do anything else, body weight and calisthenics. It's really hard to work your back without something to pull.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think it would probably be a pull-up bar.
So what would you add to your gym, even though I don't know if you have any room left for anything?
I've got a little bit of space that I'm.
It's a little earmark. It's got. I taped it off.
Little earmark. I taped it off. I might get rid of my bench, and I can just press on the floor if I need to. I think I would like one of the erg bikes, ergs. I've started to ride a little bit. I'm kind of interested in riding, and in the wintertime, I think it would be good, especially for zone 2.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot better than getting on the Echo for 50 minutes. Rower, I'm good for about 10 to 12 minutes, and then I'm done. So I need to find something I can do for a longer amount of time, especially in the winter. That would be a good piece of equipment.
Yeah. Bike's fantastic. A spin bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you guys talk about them a lot. I'm jealous.
It's a good piece. All right. What would your best advice be for all the garage gym athletes out there listening to this right now?
Like I said, just keep grinding. Just keep work on your mobility. I think a lot of us are in the same boat. I don't know that we have any 18 to 24-year-olds or very many of them. Most of us are 30 to 50. And I've noticed mobility is a big thing. We all have back issues. We have hamstring issues. We have hip issues. But if you keep moving, you stretch, you do your block zero, you do your mobility afterward, you maybe throw some yoga in, you're going to get ahead of the game and be able to keep up and maybe show some of these younger kids, show them some old man strength and some agility too. So
that's awesome. Well, Jason, you have a phenomenal story, and I'm really glad that you shared it with us today. I'm also grateful for you being a garage gym athlete as long as you have been, and being consistent. So thanks for your time, and thanks for sharing everything that you have.
All right, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for listening to the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. If you want to learn more, go to garagegymathlete.com. You can learn about our training. Let us send you a copy of our book, The Garage Gym Athlete, or you can even get featured on the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. Thanks for listening.